Hello everyone, Tobin Industrial once again, and today I'm doing a video on a recent barter that I just did very late in September. We're currently looking at an antenna of some sort. As you may see here, it's got a PLL hooked up to a SO239 I should say, or a PL259 I should say, sorry about that, and a cord, and there's basically 4 elements per side. It's connected kind of like that. Now I'm not exactly sure what this antenna is for, but it's an antenna, homemade antenna nonetheless. So anyway, I put that to one side, and the next thing, and mind you now, this is the first time I've really had a really good look at this, so I'm going to have to be looking at the equipment as we go. This is a Northern Electric Company Limited oscilloscope. That's the best I can tell you. And it was manufactured in 1961, according to this. It's got some tubes in the back here. Put this up so you can see it. Some tubes, 12AX7, and two 12AX7s actually. And there's the oscilloscope part, and it has the monitor, vertical position, focus, and horizon, and all that. It seems like it's missing the case, but it looks like it's all intact, as you can see. Haven't tested this, and I don't have the plug. At least I haven't found it amongst the things that are in the boxes, I should say. So anyway, that's the oscilloscope. I'm going to show you the most important things, so that maybe the less important things mightn't interest you. Here we have a Heathkit condenser checker. Tip that down a bit. Heathkit condenser checker. What this is exactly for, I don't know. There's wires came with, of course. It plugs in AC. As a cap test, a leakage test, all these things here that you can see. I'll give you a closer look, and you might be able to discern exactly what it is. Obviously it is a piece of test equipment, and it's Heathkit. Again, I don't know the year that it was made, but looks like a pretty old kit anyway. And there's a tube there, some kind of a closed shadow indicator, excessive leakage, whatever that is. We'll put that to one side. This is a cool thing. It's a vise. Basically, you can clamp it down. It sticks to your bench. There's an adjustment to it, and so I thought that was pretty cool for doing some work. Got a little tickle trunk here, full of components. A little lunchbox, an adapter for your car. Bunch of connectors, oodles of capacitors, large capacitors, several large capacitors actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 huge capacitors. Now I think this is the biggest one. This is the biggest one, I believe, and it says Sprague Powerletic 36D 5300 100 DC 7226L, made in USA. So there's a bunch there, different sizes, and this here sort of a neat connection unit. I'm not exactly sure what it's for, but I think it's a military spec for connecting communication cables, because I've seen this here, and that is a cable that's been cut off. That looks like military cable that they use on a ship, and this must be the connectors of some sort. Well, exactly what it's used for, it's communication obviously, but how it hooks up I wouldn't know. There's a special plug in here for one of the radios. Actually, there's a couple of radios that are out there that I haven't brought in yet. They don't look to be very young. They look to be very, very old actually. Anyway, we'll move that to one side. There's a bunch of capacitors here out of the way. And next we picked up this, it's called the Big Signal W2AU lightning arrestor, model 4.1. Some of you may be familiar with it. I'm sort of familiar with that. And it comes with the actual paper for how to use it. It's for, I think it's for dipole. Anyway, put that aside. This is a peculiar item here. It's a continuity tester. There's a light here. Takes 2 AA batteries, and there's a, you can insert a wire in here, the standard banana clip, whatever you want to call it. And it says press to light, but I'm not exactly sure how this does work. But it says warning: do not use. Check for continuity with the circuit live, with a live circuit. And it's made by Marfree Incorporated, Detroit. Peculiar little machine. I like testers. Some patch cables here, some neat little crocodile clips, and they run to a AC plug, so obviously it's made for tapping AC into a circuit. A set of Archer pliers. Let's see, now this here's a little box of goodies. Some stuff still in the package here. Looks like PL59s, but they're not. If I was so smart I could read and tell you what that is, but it's bloody upside down. It's upside down again. Anyway, as you can see, it's a bunch of BNC connections. As you can see, there's a bunch in there. Oh, I was looking for those fuses. That's what they're to. Just some standard fuses for a radio. And seen a bunch of these. This looks like a Sprague high pass, 1 to 14. There's several of them actually that were there, and like I say, just a bunch of BNC connections, odds and ends, heatsink clip, some things that could come in handy at some point down the road. Got a box of stuff here left to show you. I'm going to try to speed this up a bit so as not to bore you too much. Basically a bottle full of adapters of every make and sort. Some real funny looking adapters, and regular PL59s and SO239s, and you name it is in there. Full bottle full. I won't bother to empty that out. Looks like the standard stuff that you would see. And this here is a external speaker, and it's pretty neat actually. Nice little bracket. I guess this is when they were making them really neat. Haven't tested it yet, but obviously it should work. What could be wrong? Another set of testers. There's your banana plugs I was telling you about, and that runs to a female AC plug. So a little patch cable there. Just another stainless steel wire, I guess, hooked up to a banana clip. A homemade, not a homemade, but a homemade tip for a soldering gun. Neat little clipboard. I've always wanted one of these, and all of a sudden I ran into one. For stick your paper in there, snap it down, and away you go. I like it. Happy I found it. A bunch of ICs, and I mean a bunch, a load of them. Various sizes and numbers, model numbers. Got a couple of circuit boards like this with these relays on it. Not exactly sure what that would be used for. It has an insertion bar here for, it's possibly for add-on to some kind of electronic instrument. And like I said, there's two of them. There's another one here, same thing, except it's got a different plug-in. There, looks like an upgrade there of some sort. And a bunch of circuit boards, a lot bigger than this, and I never brought them all in because they're just like an oodle, like 6 or 7 boards. Next we have a some sort of a industrial timer. Thought that was kind of neat. And I apologize for the light, folks, because I'm doing this from a different angle here in the home. So anyway, it's some kind of a timer, so you can time something in or time something out. Some more of those filters. I brought in a few because they're sort of different. I just wanted to show you. They're high pass. And here's another one, a different type. Just to show you, looks like a standard RCA connection, if I'm not mistaken. And we have 3 separate meters, which I like. I'm also into meters too. This one is a milliampere meter. It reads, I guess, -40 to +40 maybe. Milliamps, kind of dirty, but seems to be moving and intact. And we have another meter here, direct current, milliamps, 0 to 10. And the third one, AC amperes, from 0 to 50. And to conclude this video, I want to show you these magazines that came with the package deal. Basic Electronics, prepared by the Bureau of Naval Personnel. So that'll give you a hint as to where this may have came from. Obviously a gentleman from the military. And handbook of noise measurement. Some interesting material to probably read someday down the road. And the final thing, the final book that was in what the package was Radio Amateur Licensing Handbook. And I haven't cracked the page on this yet, so. But obviously it's been well read, because you can see one of the pages is actually ready to fall out there. So it's a book that's been well used. I'd like to thank you folks for taking the time to watch this video today. And I'd ask that you'd make comment. Positive comments are certainly appreciated. And it would be great if you could subscribe. I appreciate that very much. I hope you enjoyed the barter deal video, and look forward to some more in the relatively near future. Thank you, and so long.